And the Megalodon, the monster shark, lives footage. The most famous Megalodon evidence ever broadcast. It was phony. All right, let's just have a little fun. 3 YouTube links to I'm sure there'll be some sort of disclaimer. All right. YouTube videos that claim to show a living megalodon or a possible megalodon encounter. None are considered scientifically credible, certainly not, but they remain some of the internet's most famous megalodon evidence clips. Okay, I'm excited to see what this is. All right, Megalodon sighting by Bill's channel. The video analyzes a viral clip allegedly filmed from a sailing vessel in the Atlantic Ocean showing an enormous shark-like shape beside the ship. It became one of the most shared modern Megalodon sighting videos on the internet. Now, I kind of feel like we saw this a few weeks ago, but let's take a look.
Hey, is it possible a young sailor captured some video of a real living Megalodon from atop a sailing ship? Or is this just some kind of big fat Megalodon fake? Whoa! Look at the size of that
big,
thing.
Isn't he?
Oh,
I don't know if he'd be as big as you'd expect a Megalodon.
It looks like we're looking at this from the top of a
looks
ship.
pretty
Let me go
big.
back. I want to look at this again. Yeah, it's a ship. Look at the people. Look at this. Look at the size of the shark in comparison to the people. That is a big boy. Whoa.
So, do we think in basking shark, everyone?
The true identity of this creature is also on TikTok, as posted by @Sophistication.
That, my friend, is a big old basking shark.
Yep.
She's right. It's a
Yep, basking shark. But in defense of anyone who was on that ship, from afar, how would you know? Because from the top, we know, looking down upon a basking shark, it could resemble a great white to a pretty large degree. So, all right, so we know that one's fake, and we knew it was a basking shark. Top 5 best sightings of the Megalodon. Let's take a look at this.
No other prehistoric animals have divided opinions more than the Megalodon. Mostly about the
Unverified.
sand and unverified attack.
All right.
Let's start
This is
things
from a
off not
Discovery
with an
Channel
actual
special.
sighting,
I've
but with
seen
the
it.
possible outcome of a close encounter with a Megalodon. A few years ago, a photo surfaced on the internet showing a beached whale. While
Yeah.
seeing a beached whale is
Clearly,
already
you can
strange
see
and
that's
sad in itself,
CGI.
there is something that they're sighting. I promise we're going to get into those in the ocean and see what they can drag
Yeah,
up.
they brought up
While
teeth
it
they
was
said are less
dredging a
than
seabed
10,000
near
years
Tahiti
old. I was
in
unable to
1875,
find
it pulled
some.
up
Oh, I know
things or
this one.
animals
Hold
to
on.
be something to-
You've seen
to
this
be,
before, right?
well, just a rock.
From Google Images.
The image reportedly shows a Google Map image in the Bahamas. In it, you can clearly see the silhouette of an extremely large fish. Could it be a whale shark, the only living animal that could even remotely match what's on the photo?
Horse.
Yeah, it could be.
From that high up,
But
what
if
else
you see
would
the
it be?
photo, there's something a bit off.
Cape Town photo.
This very famous photo shows an extremely large fish swimming alongside German U-boats.
Okay, yeah,
Reportedly
this is
taken
also
just off
from the
coast of
Discovery
Cape Town,
Channel
South
special,
Africa, during
The
the height
Monster
of
Shark
World War
Lives.
II over in
Or it was their
1942.
TV movie of the week
The
kind of
photo even
version
shows
of it. Yeah.
German sailors looking
It's
at the
cool.
monstrous
No
beast
doubt
that
about it.
swims
This is a very
alongside
cool photo.
submarines.
Doctored, doesn't
Using the length of the
exist.
subs as a basis, depended on the sea, the men could not bring themselves to venture out to their favorite crayfish spot near Broaden Island for fear of what they had just seen.
I don't know about this
reported-
one. Let's take a look.
Number 6. The David Stead sighting. In 1918, the ichthyologist David Stead recorded a strange unease among the lobstermen of Port Stephens, Australia. Although their livelihoods depended on the sea, the men could not bring themselves to venture out to their favorite crayfish spot near Broaden Island for fear of what they had just seen. They had reported seeing a monstrous, ghostly white shark of such mind-boggling size that apparently no one could agree exactly how big the Leviathan was. The shark was big enough to swallow several lobster pots at least, but the size estimates Stead drew from the workers range from 115 feet to an absurd 300-foot minimum. This shark, which Stead believes to be of the White Death type, was a remnant of a very real species that sculled the seas for millions of years. Of course, I'm talking about the Megalodon. If Stead was right about his size estimates, there may still be a living Megalodon, or even a living population out there at sea. Although, I will admit that's a little absurdly big for a Megalodon. Beach. Yet another piece of evidence that has divided millions. But if you're a staunch believer in the continued existence of the Megalodon, then this video footage will surely be enough for you. Footage emerged of a beach shark, reportedly in some beach in Mexico. While you could say that this could just be a great white shark, it definitely looks larger than anyone I've seen.
It also looks dark too,
And
doesn't it?
do you know what kind of shark whose size much closely resembles its Megalodon? I think we can all kind of, come to a conclusion on that one now. Of course, skeptics will always tell anybody who would listen that it's just a beach great white shark.
It's
but
not,
the fact
though.
is, there are no great whites that could even possibly reach that size. That's according to my research.
That's
at
Basking.
least. Then there are also
Yeah,
people who
okay.
would...
We knew that. That was a basket.
The black demon shark is an enormous black shark whose territory is said to be just off the coast of Mexico's Baja, California peninsula. In recent times,
Yeah, the Coast Guard
obviously
footage
spend
is
most
what
of
I've
their
heard of.
lives
Oh, is
at
this
sea.
the-
The guys who are
hold
most
on.
likely to catch footage of the mighty Meg would be the Coast Guard.
Oh, I've seen this. This one, I
If
think,
the
is
size
also
of the shadow
from
was of any
right here.
indication, the animal was upwards of 60 feet long. Of course, it could have been another large fish, primarily the whale shark. But there is one glaring flaw in that assumption. Whale sharks don't swim anywhere near Brazil.
Okay.
Furthermore, the
Looks like
footage
it could have
has
been a
been
whale
analyzed
shark.
by
Also, I
countless
think this
experts.
was used
There's
in
no
the
way that it
Discovery
could have been
Channel.
doctored. But
Channel. This Discovery Channel.
Zane
footage.
Grey sighting. Pearl Zane Grey was an American author and dentist best known for his popular adventure novels and stories associated with the Western genre in literature and the arts. He idealized the American frontier. Riders of the Purple Sage was his best-selling book. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. What does an award-winning novelist with a penchant for writing westerns have anything to do with megalodons? Well, he believes he actually saw one, or rather a shark too big to be, and to quote him, a harmless white shark.
That's a fun
Strong
picture,
words. In the novel Megalodon, Fact or Fiction, Rick Emmer writes that Gray claimed to have seen one of the man-eating monsters of the South Pacific, a shark much longer than his 30-40 foot boat. Apparently, the shark was yellow and green, with a square head, immense pectoral fins, and a few white spots. It does have to be stated that Gray himself didn't say that he thought what he saw was a megalodon. But what other shark could there be? Millions of fishes and other sea creatures. In fact, there still may be a lot of unknown species left. In the 1960s, along the outer edges of Australia's Great Barrier Reef, an 85-foot ship experienced engine trouble, which forced them to weigh anchor for repairs. Although the men subsequently refused to openly report what they had seen for fear of public ridicule, the captain and his crew later told friends of sighting of an immense shark as it moved slowly past their ship. Whitish in color, they were awed by its size. It was as long, if not longer, than their boat. Experienced men of the sea, they too were certain the creature was not a whale. So what was it? Other writers, such as author Rick Emmer, suggest it could have been Megalodon. Did any of these sightings make...
Okay, so make of that what you will. And the Megalodon, the monster shark lives footage. The most famous Megalodon evidence ever broadcast. It was phony. It was supposed to be. They made it look as though it was one of their documentary specials, but it in fact was, of course, staged and scripted. Okay, I love the stuff about Megalodon. I think it's cool to imagine that it might still exist. And you know what? The science out there tells us there's a slight possibility. So I will remain skeptical, but you can't tell me, you can't disprove it completely. So if you can't disprove it completely, that means there's a chance. Okay, one more episode with sharks. I have some stuff off of the coast of New Zealand I kind of want to look into. Until then, don't go swimming off into those waters